Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Yes, Luffy is finally going to have the biggest bounty in the world. And now, you're going to find out why. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, Akainu has never forgotten the Straw Hat Kid who invaded Marineford, screamed in the middle of the war, awakened Conqueror's Haki right in front of 3 admirals, and still left carried on the back of the most feared red-haired man on the planet. Since that day, the Magma Man has carried a personal, visceral hatred toward Monkey D. Luffy. And now that the kid has become a Yonko, awakened the Sun God Fruit, and become the spark of the new pirate era, Akainu is about to move all of hell to put the biggest wanted poster in history on his head. Let's go back in time without skipping a single ember. Marineford was his baptism by fire. Akainu was in absolute justice mode, melting anything that moved. Suddenly, a 17-year-old pirate with a ridiculous bounty of 300 million shows up, yelling for his brother. The guy takes a magma punch to the chest, falls, gets up, takes another, falls again. And on the 3rd time he stands up, he unleashes a Conqueror's Haki so strong it knocks out 50,000 soldiers at once. Akainu stops mid-strike and says, with pure disdain, Dragon's son. He already knew. He knew who the father was, he knew what that Haki meant, and at that exact second he decided the kid had to die right there. But he didn't die. Shanks appeared, stopped the war, took Ace's and Whitebeard's bodies, and still looked at Akainu as if to say, try touching him now. The Admiral swallowed his boiling magma, but remembered the name. After that came the 2-year time skip, the return with 400 million, then 500 million, 1.5 billion, 3 billion. Yonko, Gear 5th, Vegapunk's broadcast, the whole world hearing that the D is returning. Every newspaper that landed on Akainu's desk was another nail in the coffin of his patience. The man isn't stupid. He saw what happened to everyone who underestimated Luffy. Crocodile lost a country, Maria lost his fleet, Doflamingo lost his throne, Kaido and Big Mom lost their heads. Literally. Meanwhile, the kid kept rising. And the worst part, every step Luffy took proved that Akainu had been right back in Marineford. Dragon's son really was the spark of a new era, except instead of dying like Akainu wanted, he became the lit fuse that blew up the entire world. Now, the situation has changed. Akainu is the fleet admiral of the Marines. There's no Sengoku to hold the leash anymore, no Kong to give input, he gives the orders. And what does a man who lives by absolute justice do when the greatest symbol of evil piracy becomes a Yonko, awakens the fruit the government fears most, and still carries the blood of the most wanted man on the planet? He makes Luffy the official #1 public enemy. Luffy's next bounty poster won't just be an update, it'll be a declaration of war. Probably 5.5 billion, 6 billion, maybe even more than Roger ever had. It'll come stamped with maximum danger, dead or alive, personally signed by Akainu with direct orders to all bases, all vice admirals, every available buster call. Absolute priority is hunting Straw Hat, and the reason isn't just professional, it's personal. Akainu lost Ace right in front of him. He lost the chance to erase the D. Bloodline right there. He lost face when Shanks stopped the war. He lost control of the narrative when Luffy came back stronger. Every smile from that kid in the newspaper is a slap in the face of the man who swore to end piracy. He wants Luffy dead not just because it's his duty, he wants it because it's revenge. Akainu's hatred for Luffy isn't fan theory, it's a fact written in magma since Marineford. The Admiral looked at a 17-year-old unconscious kid, saw Conqueror's Haki explode from him, heard the name Dragon in the reports, and decided right there that that bloodline had to end. He punched Luffy's chest twice with pure magma, tried to decapitate him in front of a dying Ace, and only didn't finish the job because Shanks showed up. Since that day, the name Monkey D. Luffy has burned in his mind, stronger than any other threat. 2 years later, the kid returned with 400 million. Akainu was already fleet admiral and watched the bounty rise to 500 million, 1 billion, 1.5 billion, 3 billion. Every increase was another slap in the face of the absolute justice he stands for. Every victory Luffy achieved was proof that Akainu's decision back in Marineford had been the only correct one, except he failed. Dragon's son not only survived, but became the symbol of the new generation Akainu swore to crush. Now everything is different. The whole world heard Vegapunk's broadcast. The sea is rising. The Gorosei are out on the field. The world government has lost control of the narrative. And at the center of it all is the same kid Akainu let slip away at Marineford. Now, a Yonko, wielder of the Nika fruit, leader of the Grand Fleet, the man who shook the system more than Roger himself. Akainu is not the kind of man who waits. He has already shown that when he decides someone is a maximum threat, he moves all of hell. Look at what he did to Ohara. Buster call without hesitation. Look at what he did to Ace. Public execution without negotiation. Look at what he did to Whitebeard. He faced the strongest man in the world head on. With Luffy, it won't be any different. The next logical logical step, the only one that makes sense with his character, is to turn Straw Hat into the biggest living target in history. The bounty is going to rise. There's no way it doesn't rise after Egghead, after Gear 5th aired on the world's TVs, after the declaration that the D is returning. And when it rises, it won't be a normal update. It'll be the highest amount ever recorded, probably surpassing Roger because Akainu needs a symbol to prove that the Marines still rule. He needs the world to see that Dragon's Son has a price and that the price is far too high for anyone to protect him. The order will be direct, absolute priority. Every Marine resource, Cypher Paul, Seraphim, Vice Admirals, everything that can move will be aimed at hunting the Thousand Sunny. It's no longer about territory or balance. It's personal. Akainu wants to finish what he started at Marineford. He wants to prove that absolute justice can still burn the sun itself. And the most dangerous part, he knows Luffy is now strong enough to face him as an equal. He knows Kizaru came back broken, that Saturn was humiliated, that the entire system is cracking. For that very reason, he won't send a subordinate. When the time comes, when the bounty breaks the historical record, when the whole world is watching, Akainu will rise from the Fleet Admiral's chair and personally go after the kid he let escape 15 years ago. Because to Sakazuki, Monkey D. Luffy isn't just a pirate. He is the mistake Akainu made at Marineford. He is the living proof that absolute justice can fail. And men like Akainu do not live with unresolved mistakes. The confrontation is inevitable. No need to invent an island. No need to invent dialogue. The manga has already drawn both paths, and they cross in pure fire. One represents the system that burns everything threatening the order. The other represents the freedom born exactly from the ashes of that system. When it happens, the entire sea will feel the heat. And that's exactly why Luffy's next bounty won't be just some absurd number printed in a newspaper. It will be the spark of the final war. Because when Akainu signs that amount, he won't just be putting a price on a pirate's head. He'll be declaring to the entire world that the final battle between freedom and absolute justice has begun. And the detail no one is noticing is that the government desperately needs a symbolic enemy. Kaido and Big Mom have fallen. Blackbeard is lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect opportunity. The old Yonkos have lost their reputation, and the Gorosei are burning civilians alive in front of cameras. The Marines' credibility is melting faster than Sakazuki's magma. They need a monster. They need a name to write in huge letters, a face to blame for all the chaos, and there is no better candidate than the Straw Hat Kid who smiles even with the world on fire. And here's where it gets even more serious. Luffy never sought to be the most wanted, but without realizing it, he became the greatest catalyst for change since Gold D. Roger. Every island he steps on turns into a revolution. Every ally he makes becomes a new spark. Every enemy he defeats exposes the rot within the system. His bounty is going to rise, not just because he's strong, but because he inspires movement. And movement is what the government fears most. Roger was dangerous because he led men to the sea. Luffy is worse. He leads entire peoples. He frees islands, topples dictatorships, destroys factories, crushes empires. He didn't just defeat Kaido, he freed Wano. He didn't just defeat Doflamingo, he exposed the slavery in Dressrosa. He didn't just humiliate the government at Egghead, he showed the world the enemy's true face. And Akainu knows that's far more destructive than any Gear 5th punch. Luffy has become an idea, and ideas cannot be burned. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.